All right, so seems like everybody can hear me okay, I hope. So go ahead and turn the camera on. So I know everybody wants to talk about the Lionel catalog, and we will. We'll take a look at it, and I'll talk about what I think I'm going to order and stuff like that. But we'll go over a couple of things first. So can I review more Lionel sets in the future as opposed to the I always review Lionel sets. Do you mean like starter sets? I don't know. It just depends. I don't usually buy starter sets, so if Lionel sends me one to review, I'll review it. But I don't typically buy starter sets, if that's what you mean. Okay, so I got a lot going on down here as far as the layout goes and everything goes. I've been doing a lot of work down here lately, which has been fun. Haven't really had this much fun working on stuff in several years, to tell you the truth. So I've been installing a crossing gate in the main room, and I'm working on a bridge signal that I just got from K&L. Is it K&L or K&R? K&R Custom Signals. I put some water in the lake in the back room, and water, not real water, and yeah, so just having fun. I need to get a bunch of dwarf signals for my signal bridge and the crossing gate and everything. So a lot of stuff happening. There's a couple things happening this year. There's number one, I'm having an open house again this year. The people that do the Piedmont Pilgrimage decided to open it back up to the public, open it back up post-COVID. And so I should have an in-person open house this year, although I don't know the dates yet. And I'll let you guys know that as soon as I do. Move the camera down a little bit. There, that's better. So yeah, there will be an open house. So a lot of the work I'm doing is, to sort of have some progress for the open house, but also the channel, Eric's Trains, is nearing 50,000 subscribers, and so I figured, maybe have a 50,000 subscriber celebration, if you will, and I'll do a complete tour of the layout and also run some of my favorite trains, and so that should be fun. And I've started filming that. I filmed the first couple scenes of that last week. So it's moving along. It's not going to be released until I hit 50,000. So, that's probably going to be several months. So I've got a little time. I've got the luxury of time to get it finished, which is good because I'm really busy writing articles for OGR Magazine right now. I've got 2 that I got to turn in ASAP, and so doing all that stuff. So yeah, later this year should be fun. We should have an open house for the layout, and we should have a complete layout tour to celebrate 50,000 subscribers. And so that should be pretty fun. I don't know if I'm going to go to. I don't know. Are they having York this year? I guess they probably are. I haven't even thought about going to York. I probably won't go this year, but maybe next year. I got a lot of stuff going on right now, but so that's that. Oh, shut up. That was Siri. So some cool stuff. So some cool stuff going on. I'm doing a video. Well, I just actually finished it. It's not uploaded yet, but just showing a couple things that came in. I got a little Atlas HOU25B, I think this is, little chassis system diesel, and then I went and got some HO rolling stock because every time I review a piece of HO, I don't have. I've got one piece of rolling stock. I've got a coal hopper, so I went out I went over to Legacy Station today, and I picked up a few pieces of HO just to have something to pull behind my little HO diesels when I review them. So got a little Southern hopper there. I mean, it's nothing fancy. I just wanted to have something to pull. So chassis, and so that's that. And then when I was at Legacy Station today as well, I picked up something that we'll be unboxing in a little bit and running. Hopefully it will run without any problems. It's always a gamble when you run a brand new engine for a live show. But I've got two others of the engine that you're going to see, and they've been perfect. So hopefully this one will be perfect as well. So that's kind of some new stuff that has come in. The new Lionel catalog has come out yesterday, and so naturally everybody wants to talk about that. So we'll talk about it. Overall, I think it's okay. It's not spectacular, but that's okay. I mean, it's a Volume 2 catalog. Volume 2 catalogs are usually not spectacular. I mean, there are exceptions, but typically Volume 2 catalogs are not the big thing. So they've got some nice stuff in here. And to be honest, I kind of like it when there's, not every catalog is a home run, because my wallet thanks me, because if there's been a couple catalogs that MTH has put out over the years that have, where I saw them and I was just like, geez, this is almost too good. There's so much good stuff in here. I can't decide what to order, and you have to make some really hard choices. So this is not one of those catalogs, in my opinion. So it's got some nice stuff, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't have anything brand new. There's no new Vision Line engine or anything like that. So I like it. It's okay. I've heard a rumor that that Lionel purchased some of MTH's premier steam toolings, and if that is so, I'm really excited about that. I was really excited when Atlas purchased some of their diesel toolings, and if Lionel purchased some of MTH's premier steam toolings, and I also heard they purchased some of their lower end stuff too, but that would be great. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Lionel making some MTH locomotives is, of course, for me, is the triplex. If we could get a Lionel triplex from the ex-MTH tooling, that would be really cool. And there's a few others. It'd be cool if Lionel or Atlas would make the transfer the transfer diesel, because that's a kind of an unusual one. But just on the top of my list of ex-MTH stuff that Lionel, it'd be cool if Lionel made the triplexes at the top of the list, because it's an awesome engine. When MTH made it, it was an incredible engine, and with Lionel, I'm sure they'll put some great sounds in it, and it'll sound and I'm sure they'll put a quilling. Hopefully they'll put a quilling whistle in it, and that would be really, really cool. I think that's a good thing, because there's several steam locomotives that, Vision Line triplex. That would be so cool. There's several MTH steam locomotives that Lionel has never done, and so I hope they bought those. There's several diesels that Lionel's never done, and also I hope they would get their electrics too, because MTH had some really cool electrics that I hope Lionel or somebody picks up. The AEM7, the BB1, the box cabs, all that stuff. It'd be really cool if Lionel picked that up, sort of picked up the torch and kept those going. MTH is gonna keep making stuff. They're not going away entirely, but they have sold a lot of their tooling to sort of trim down and just focus on making, you know, limited amounts of stuff. I think I've said this before, but I think MTH is going to be sort of like Third Rail going forward, where they're going to do limited runs. You order them, and they make as many as they're ordered, and that's it. And you know, I can live with that. Yeah, the European Steam. I don't know who. You know, it'd be cool if Lionel would pick that up. I don't know if they will. And you know, my big concern is really all the tin plate tooling from MTH. I'd hate to see all that tooling sit idle, but you know, unfortunately, there's not as big of an audience for tin plate as there is for other stuff. So, you know, I don't know if if it would be possible to make a profit on it. If there was, I'd think about taking out a business loan, buying all their tin plate tooling, and making that stuff. That would be really cool. But Euro Steam is weak. Yeah, I like European Steam. I like all Steam. So we'll see what happens. But hearing that Lionel might have picked up some of MTH's Steam toolings is really cool. And like I said, I'll be disappointed if one of the toolings they picked up was not the Triplex, because if any MTH locomotive deserves to survive, it's the Triplex, because nobody else did it, and it's a fantastic model. I've got an Erie Triplex in my collection, and it should be fine. So we'll see what happens in the future. I've got the Kraus Maffei diesel coming from Third Rail later this year. I think they said around October or November. So we'll see. That's going to be really cool. So I'm going to try to get a Third Rail steam locomotive at some point. Third Rail is putting out a couple of steam locomotives that are just insanely expensive. They have an Allegheny that they're putting out it's like $5,000. I'm not kidding. And I emailed Scott, and I was like, well, you know, why is it so expensive? I knew the answer, but I just wanted to hear it from him. I said, why is it so expensive? And he said, because they're expensive to make. That's why. So it's insane. It's like $5,000. It's pretty close to $5,000. I forget the exact number, but it's crazy. Anyway, I mean, I kind of want to order it just to see what a $5,000 model is like. I've never heard of such a thing, but you know, we'll see. All right, so got the front of the catalog. Very similar in spirit to the Volume 1 catalog that had the Acela on it. I don't know if this is supposed to be the inside of the Acela, maybe. But same kind of theme, which is nice. You know, they're talking about new features for 2021. Lionel voice control, voice streaming and recording. Stream or record custom announcements. And just in case nobody knows, the Lionel voice control, it's not an upgrade to the locomotives. It's an upgrade to the Lion Chief app, and so that's why it applies to any Lionel locomotive that has Bluetooth. So it's not something you have to buy new engines for. It's already there. They just added a new feature to the app. That's all. Oh, scale. There's Strasbourg number 90. Everybody's favorite. Legacy Steam. Got the click to see the bicolor lights. And there they are. Hopefully that shows up for you guys. All right, so we've got the 210 zeros. And obviously Strasbourg 90 is the big to-do. Everybody's really happy to see that. And I am too. I mean, I'm not a huge die-hard fan of Strasbourg number 90, but it is a famous locomotive, and so I will be ordering one of these. I'm going to get the 1990s version because to me it just looks a little prettier even though they've got a 2000s version right here. But I'm going to be getting this one, the 1990s version. And they've got, you know, Strasbourg. They've got another version of it here. They've got Seaboard, Osage, Great Western, couple Great Westerns. So, yeah, pretty cool. And it's got hey, Tony, you got to plug your phone in, man. Or plug your iPod in. Click to play video. Let's see what this does.
In the 1920s, designers at the Baldwin Locomotive Works set out to create a decapod which would be suitable for heavier freight service on lighter tracks. Baldwin built 22 similar locomotives to this common design,
it's pretty cool,
delivering them to 6 different railroads, with most going to the seaboard.
Let me know if you guys can see the video.
Just a footnote in history, except that there
or Tony, let me know if you can
today.
see it.
By far the most famous of these has called the Strasbourg Railroad home since 1967. Baldwin built number 90 for the Great Western Railway in 1924. There in the foothills of the Rockies, she spent 4 decades hauling freight, primarily sugar beets, as the largest and most powerful locomotive on the line. Although always designed as a freight locomotive, by the 1950s, the Great Western began using 90 on occasional passenger excursions, a harbinger of things to come. Although a locomotive well adapted to hauling 50-car freight trains in Colorado would seem an unlikely fit for passenger excursions in the farmlands of Pennsylvania, number 90 has proven to be a perfect fit. Just as 90 has been good to her new home, so too have her owners been good to her. Since 90's arrival, the Strasbourg has developed the facility, staff, and reputation known worldwide as a leader in steam preservation and operation. She remains the largest and youngest steam locomotive on Strasbourg's impressive roster. A favorite of fans and tourists since her arrival, 90 has been an icon of the Strasbourg for multiple generations. Over the decades, 90 has seen many different paint schemes and a few other modifications. The last 2 decades have brought a multitude of looks, including occasional returns to Great Western colors for photo charters.
This is really cool. I like this interactive thing that Lionel has going on with their catalogs now.
Dozens of times in model form. And yet, after nearly a century of service, the definitive model of number 90 eludes us. Until now. Working with the experts at the Strasbourg Railroad and their archives of original builder's drawings and mechanical notes, Lionel's design and modeling teams have created an all-new O-scale model truly worthy of this landmark locomotive. Made of newly tooled die-cast and brass parts, equipped with the latest in control, sound, and smoke,
die-cast and brass,
and decorated in multiple accurate paint schemes, Lionel's new brass hybrid Legacy 210 is the 90 you've been waiting and begging for. Features of this all-new model include new die-cast frame and cab, brass boiler, tender, and details.
Cool.
Multiple detail variations depicting different eras and owners. Legacy and Bluetooth control, including Lionel voice control through the Lion Chief app. Fan-driven stack smoke and whistle steam effect. Legacy rail sounds, including road number specific crew talk and special Strasbourg announcements.
Oh wow,
LED
cool.
Headlight, reverse light, cab light, firebox flicker, and bicolor class lights.
Nice.
Electro coupler on tender with optional non-scale coupler for front pilot operation. This first release of the model will depict the decapod in its most modern and earliest appearances, including as-delivered versions for the Great Western and other roads, and contemporary paint schemes on the Strasbourg. This will include the original Great Western lettering with both the as-built details and as correct for its appearance in the scheme on the Strasbourg in the past decade. Further releases will include other prototype 210s, as well as other variations of the 90, including the extended smokebox ears on the Great Western and the Strasbourg. Matching passenger equipment will also be available. For a full list of decorated options and features, see Lionel.com. And to experience the sights, sounds, smells, and feel of the legend herself, make tracks to the Strasbourg Railroad and relive history this summer.
That's really cool. So it sounds like Lionel is really trying to do it right. I like how they said it's going to have some Strasbourg specific announcements. That's really cool. And I like this unpainted, they're going to do a pilot version as well. I thought about maybe getting that one, but yeah. So very cool. Again, I like the interactive catalog here where they've got videos and sounds and stuff. No reason not to do it in this day and age. And they've got some passenger cars to go along with it. I'm going to be ordering the Strasbourg cars, probably all of them, but we'll see. I'm going to be ordering this one too, the observation car. Then we've got some 280s in a variety of different road names. I'm not going to be ordering one of these because there's a set later on in the catalog that has a 280. I think it's a 280, and I'll be ordering that one instead. It's that Grand Canyon set, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know about. So, very cool. Then we've got the cab forwards. Cab forwards are back, very nice. Cab forward is definitely one of my all-time favorite model locomotives that I have. I don't know if it's, I wouldn't pick anyone as my absolute favorite, but the cab forward has always been one of my favorites. The previous Lionel cab forward was fantastic. It's got just a beautiful whistle that is just haunting and just it's perfect in my. It's awesome. I don't know if it really sounds like the real thing, but it sounds awesome to my ears. So they've got some fantasy paint schemes. 4294, I believe that's the one I already have. So I will probably order 4281. Although I did think about ordering one of these fantasy paint schemes. But yeah, really nice to see the cab forward back in the catalog. Then we got the 412-2s, which I think I already have a 412-2. Let me look at this case over here. 412-2. Yeah, I do have a 412-2. I have UP 9000. So, yeah, I have this one right here, but it's in a Greyhound paint scheme. So I will probably get one of these. I'm not sure which one I will get, but I will probably get one of these, probably 9023. Got some more 412-2s and some fantasy paint schemes. Beautiful. I thought about getting the C&O or the Milwaukee Road. That would be kind of cool. And now we get to the diesels. I got some nice SD70 Max. Nothing wrong with that. I won't be getting one of these because they have a set, a BNSF set later on that I will be getting. And we got some SD45s. Okay, this is really cool. I'm really excited about this. And I think this is the first time they've done this. But what they're doing is they've got the powered diesels, and then they've got a non-powered super base diesel. That is really cool. So you're going to have a non-powered unit behind the powered one with a super bass sound system in it, just to give it some extra oomph. And I think that is so cool. So I'm going to get one of the powered Norfolk Southern, and I'm going to get the super bass Norfolk Southern as well. And that should be super cool. Very excited about that. And I like how they have it in the correct long hood forward for Norfolk Southern and a couple others. I hope that when it arrives, I hope that when it arrives, the default forward is a long hood forward. So when you power it up, I hope that by default it moves long hood forward. That would be really cool. But at least it's pictured like that in the catalog. Let's see if they say anything about it. Road-specific detailing. Yeah. So that'll be cool if it actually does run long hood forward by default. I think it will. I mean, if they're picturing it like that in the catalog, obviously that's the intention. I mean, you can see the smoke is going back, so obviously I think that's what they're trying to communicate, is that it's going to go long hood forward, which is great. Then we got some DD35s. I've already got one of these. The sad thing is, most of these engines that are in this catalog, I already have at least one example of. And so I've already got DD35 number 72, I think. So I will probably get this one here, number 71, although the Fantasy, Alaska, and Santa Fe are cool. And this one is a Fantasy too. It's the modern flag paint scheme. So some nice choices there. I like it. Then we got SW1200. Very nice, with a smoke unit, no less. MTH would never put smoke units in their small switchers. I never understood that, but Lionel is. And now, it might come at the cost of motors. There might be just one motor in here instead of two. But that's okay, it's a switcher. I don't mind that at all. So I think I will probably get the Santa Fe version, but I might change my mind. We'll see. Got the sea liners, very cool. I don't have one of these yet, so I am going now. For this one, I'm going to get the New Haven, and that's because I have some New Haven passenger cars, some Atlas New Haven passenger cars with no New Haven locomotive to pull them. So I'm going to get the New Haven Sea Liner, and I'm also going to get the Station Sounds Diner. I'm not going to worry about the other cars because I've already got 5 Atlas New Haven passenger cars that are beautiful. And then here's that SD70 Mac Coltrane. So this is what I'm going to get. Always get the set. If whenever you see the catalog, if you see your favorite locomotive, and then they've also got your favorite locomotive with a set, you know, I try to always get the set because you're going to get, you know, a nice set box and some cool cars and stuff. So we got the rotary bathtub, the rotary gondolas, and looks like there's 6 of them, and a BNSF SD70 Mac, which will be nice. I haven't gotten a BNSF diesel in a while, so that'll be nice. Add additional matching locomotives on page 22. Then we've got the Hustle Muscle freight set. I've never been a big fan of the Hustle Muscle. I don't know. It just sounds corny to me. I know some people are probably going to hate me saying that, but I've just never, you know, I don't know. I mean, so I don't think I'm going to get this set, but I'll think about it. We'll see. And then they've got an SW1200 set, which is very cool. It's this Spirit of 76. I thought about getting this, but I think I'm just going to get the SW1200 by itself. But I might change my mind at some point. We'll see. But it's very nice. Okay, and then here is the Grand Canyon passenger set with the 280. And this is what I'm going to get. Instead of getting one of the standalone 280s, I'm going to get this set. It looks really cool, and I will probably get the add-on set as well. But yeah, really cool looking set. So definitely going to order that one, 100%. And then we've got some wood coaches. Probably not going to get any of these, just because I already have some. So, and I'm getting those Strasbourg ones anyway. So I'm not going to get one of these. Got some high cube box cars. I will probably get a couple of these. I think I'm going to get the graffiti ones, assuming that they're allowed to make them this time around. Either the Canadian National or the Conrail. I haven't decided yet, so that should be cool. The Hobo Sounds boxcar, definitely going to get one of these. I'm going to get the Erie version. That should be fun. 2 pewter figures. Easy conversion to scale couplers. Play freight sounds in motion. Plays hobo camp dialogue when stopped. Very cool. Then we've got the 2-bay hopper 2-packs. Probably not going to get any of these just because I've already got a lot of them. Same thing for the cylindrical hoppers, although they do look very nice. If I was going to get one of these, I'd probably get the... I might get the CSX one because it's an X car, so I don't know, we'll see. And we got these fire truck flat cars, which are very expensive, $160. And it seems very expensive to me, but I kind of want to get one just to see what all the hype is. Why it's $160 for a flat car with a fire truck. I mean, I know it's a die-cast fire truck, so you know, at first I thought this was a reuse of one of the Weaver flat cars, but I don't think it is. It's got a real wood deck, so that's going to drive up the price a little bit. But yeah, it should be interesting. And then we've got some cupola cam cabooses. I'm going to get the CP Rail caboose, I believe. My choice of cabooses is based on what what road names I have that I don't have a matching caboose for yet. You know, I've already got Seaboard and Cotton Belt, and so I will either get CP Rail or Sioux. Got some CA1 cabooses. I don't think I'll be ordering one of these just because I don't need one. And then we got some standard O box cars, and I probably won't order any of these just because I've got plenty of box cars already. Although you never know, I might change my mind. Got a bunch of rotary gondola 2-packs. Gondola. I probably won't get any of these just because I've already got plenty of coal hoppers. I got a ton of coal hoppers, so and I'll be getting some coal hoppers with the BNSF set already, so it'll be fine. So let me look back at the live stream, make sure everyone's still there. Yeah, everyone looks there. So we'll go back to the catalog. This should go faster just because this isn't stuff I would normally order, but so we've got the Lion Chief Plus 2.0 Hudsons and Genesis. It's pretty cool that they've got a LC2 Plus Genesis. Not bad at all. I might try to see if I can get one to review. We'll see what I can do. I like that. And I got some sets, got a building. This looks like, you know what? This looks like an MTH building. I wonder if this is an XMTH building. That looks just like the Eric's Trains building that I have that was made by MTH. I wonder if that's XMTH. We've got the passenger station. Oh, what's this passenger? What do they call this passenger station? It's the, you know, this is an MTH station as well. I think these are ex-MTH buildings. I'm looking at my MTH station right now, and it's exactly the same. I think these are ex-MTH. Pretty darn sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure these are ex-MTH. Not bad. Of course, they marked up the price, $130. I don't think MTH was charging $130 for them. But then again, MTH is, you know, scaling down. Box cars, you know, same old stuff they always have. Expand Your World. This looks like an MTH building. That's that MTH building again. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an MTH building. This might be an MTH building too, I'm not sure. This is an MTH building here. Yeah, I think these are all ex-MTH. Could be wrong, but I think that's what they are. And we got some American Flyer. Not a ton, just a few. And then they've got HO. But I think they have a separate HO catalog, so they're not showing that much stuff here. I wonder how Lauren feels about having her picture in the catalog. And then, and that's it. I think that's the last page. Nope. Yeah, and that's it. So pretty cool. Like I said, you know, it's not a super exciting catalog, but, you know, it is nice. It does have some nice stuff. Strasbourg 90s, probably one of the highlights. But I guess, you know, depending on who you are and what you like, you're going to find different things to like about the catalog. But overall, I think it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. Not the best ever. It's not super exciting, like I said, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, hang on just a minute. My back is killing me. I gotta lean back and fix it. Oh, yeah. Okay. 333 viewers. I wonder if Randy Rain's watching today. She usually comes to the shows. Okay. So that's that. So what I'll do now is look for a couple questions, and we'll answer those, and then we'll unbox something. How about that? Unboxing stuff. Bronco Productions is sorry for being late. Yeah, that's inexcusable. You're banned. Did I see the Christmas things? Yeah, I mean, I don't typically order a lot of Christmas stuff just because, you know, I mean, I've got some Christmas trains and I don't always run those, so I don't need to order anymore. So, but anyway, let's. Will Chessie be joining us? He did join us earlier, and he had to be kicked out because he was tearing up one of the trees. He damaged one of my trees. So, yeah, the Menards F3. Okay, so someone asked about this earlier. Menards came out with a very inexpensive Santa Fe F3 diesel that was, I think it's $130, which is insanely cheap for a diesel, an O-gauge diesel. I don't have one. They're sold out. They sold out very quickly. If one comes up on eBay, I might get it. I asked Menards if they could send me one, but they were like, sorry, we already sold out. So I asked them if they were going to do another run, and they said they might. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, they sold out. Why not do another run? So, I mean, if I was making trains and I sold something and it sold out, that would be the signal to me to maybe do another run. So, I've seen some videos of the Menards F3 running. I mean, it's very, very, very basic. It's very bottom of the line. You know, it's not going to be the best thing ever, but it runs, and it has some sounds, and you know, for $129, I mean, you know, you can't really go wrong with that. And so, you know, more power to them. I think that's great. You know, again, it's not a high quality locomotive, but then again, you know, Menards is not trying to make high quality O-gauge trains. They're making super affordable O-gauge trains. And they've done a really good job of that over the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years they've been doing it. And I had a feeling they would probably eventually bring out a locomotive to go with all those cars. So it's not a surprise. And really, you know, I think Menards is really, really doing a great job of providing, you know, entry-level, cheap, you know, fairly decent trains that people can afford. You know, so, you know, you're not going to get great sound. You're probably not going to get great pulling power or anything like that. But, you know, it's $129. You know, what do you expect? You get what you pay for. But the fact that they're just selling a locomotive for $129 is great. So, I believe I believe Menards is going to send me an Amtrak station. So that'll be the next Menards building that I review. They send me stuff on a pretty regular basis, so that it's always fun to see what shows up from Menards. It's always fun to see what shows up from Atlas too. as soon as Atlas comes out with their XMTH locomotives, they're going to send me a couple of them, the ST40 and the 44 tonner. So that should be fun, and that'll be exciting when those arrive. So, when I can tell some of these people haven't been here the whole time. When are you going to install some crossing signals? I just did install a crossing signal. I'll be showing it in the next, in the layout tour video that's coming up soon. But I just installed it. It's brand new. It's made by Z Stuff. What company's tooling is the Menards F3? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine they would have bought it from some X tooling rather than make new tooling. So but I don't know. I don't know. It might be their own. You know, who knows? But I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is maybe something like I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll ask him. I'll ask him and see what they say. Is there a way to dim Menards? God, my neck hurts. Oh. There we go. Is there a way to dim Menards building lights? Oh boy. I'm sure there's a way. I haven't done it, but I'm sure there's a way. I would probably just Google it, and you probably have to install a dimming circuit or something in there, but I'm sure it's possible. Will I be doing a review of the Z Stuff crossing signals? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when they're all ready to show, I'll show them, so you'll be able to see them in action. But I'm not gonna show the installation, because installing signals and lights and signal bridges and so forth, it's very, the wiring is always very tedious and really the best way to learn how to install one of these things is just to read the instructions that come with it. That's what I do. There's really nothing that I can do that's going to better show you how to hook them up than you reading the instructions. So that's why I did a signaling video long ago about hooking up Atlas signals, and that took forever to make, and it's very tedious, and it takes a long time to make those videos. So yeah. Will I do a review on Strasbourg No. 90? No, never. I'm going to buy it and then just never review it. Well, yeah, Menards, maybe they'll do passenger cars next. That'll be interesting, We'll see. Are there any MTH locomotives that have been canceled? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I heard Lionel canceled the Lion Master Allegheny. If they did, there was probably a reason for it. And usually that when they cancel something, it's usually because of a lack of orders. Because if they don't get enough pre-orders for the locomotive, they won't make it. So, for example, in the 2020 Volume 1 catalog, they offered a whole bunch of road names for the new Acela. Well, some of those have been canceled because they didn't get any orders for some of those road names. But, I think that's a good approach that they're doing now, is that because they're doing built to order, if you're going to make a model, why not just offer a ton of different road names and paint schemes and just, throw it all against the wall and see what sticks and see what people order. I think that's a better way to do it than offering 2 paint schemes and then, you risk having a whole bunch of people that are like, why didn't you do this road name? And so, this way you just do a whole bunch of different paint schemes. And if someone orders it, they order it. And if they don't, then you cancel it. No big deal. So. Have you lettered the non-lettered heavy Mikado yet? No. I still haven't gotten around to it. One of these days, I will have the courage, find the courage to do that. So, if I had to pick a favorite engine on your layout, I'd go with the Nickel Plate Road 765. Yeah, it is a very famous engine. And I finally was able to fix it and get it back in working order. My 765 was out of order and on the workbench for a while. Mainly because I was too lazy to fix it, and it just took me forever to finally get around to it. But I finally did, and I finally fixed it, and it's back on the way out. It had a bad lighting board that was causing the number boards to not light up, and so I had to repair the lighting board. And then by the time I repaired the lighting board, all of the lights, all the LEDs had burned out, probably because I shorted them out at some point when I was fooling with it. So I had to replace all the LED lights. So it took a little while to get all that done. How many Lion Chief engines do you have? Not many. I can probably count them on one hand. I don't know off the top of my head, but if I had to take a stab, I'd probably say 5, maybe. Lion Chief is not something I typically buy because I typically run scale equipment, and Lion Chief is usually not scale, and so I have no real reason to buy it. So usually the Lion Chief stuff I do have is almost always stuff that was given to me to review, because I certainly wouldn't go out and spend my own money on it just because I don't do that size. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, that doesn't mean that's just not what I personally do. Let's see here. I love when people says, would you ever consider getting this engine? It's like, take a look at my collection. If there's a locomotive out there, you can pretty much assume I will consider getting it. Um, why do they even make semi-scale? Because it's cheaper, and it also negotiates tight curves. Because one of the things about O scale is that, or O gauge, is that it takes up a lot of real estate, much more than N scale or HO. And that's why HO is the most popular scale, because it's cheaper and you can fit more into a small space. So if you have an apartment, you can make a pretty good size HO layout in a bedroom in an apartment. Whereas with O gauge, it takes up quite a lot of room. And the reason they make semi-scale stuff is so that you can set up an O gauge layout that has has tight curves and still run something. Because if the big boy, the scale big boy, it needs 072 curves. That means you have to have a minimum to be able to make a 6-foot radius, which a lot of people don't have the room to do. So that it's all about letting people set up stuff in a small space, and that is the reason HO is so popular, because you don't need near as much space with H. I mean, it's half the size, so you don't need near as much space with it. So let's see here. best tip for someone who is going to build an HO DCC layout. I'm not the one to ask. I don't know HO. I'm just getting into it. I don't have an HO layout. I just have to set up some track on a table, So I'm not the person to ask. The Atlas HO U25B that I'm going to be reviewing. This one, usually they send me one that has DCC and sound, but I requested the wrong number, and so they sent me one without DCC and without sound. This is the Atlas Silver line, and so what's really cool is that I messaged James, his channel JWL II 2000. Is that what it is? And he does mainly HO. And I messaged him and I said, hey, because we talk every now and then, and I said, hey, this doesn't have sound or DCC. Can you recommend, a DCC sound upgrade that I can do? And he said, well, and he recommended. He said probably, if you're a beginner, the easiest is going to be the Tsunami 2 board that's made by Soundtracks, and is it Soundtracks? Let's see here, where was it? Soundtracks, yeah. I had it right. Okay, so that's how new I am to HO. Anyway, so he said, yeah, try the Tsunami 2 from Soundtracks. That's probably going to be. He said it's not the overall best and the best there is, but he said it's easy to do. He said the Loc sound that Atlas uses in their higher end locomotives. He said I think that's a little better, but it's also a little more. You need a little more experience to do it, and so. So then he was really nice he put me in touch with one of the guys who works at Soundtracks, and the guy at Soundtracks I think is going to send me a Tsunami 2 board so that I can install it and do a review on it on this channel. So what I'll do is when I do upgrade this to with the Tsunami 2 board, I'll do a video and show how a newbie in HO does a DCC sound upgrade on a little diesel. So that should be interesting. Hopefully I won't break anything when I'm doing it. So, but yeah, I'm not the best person to ask about HO because I'm very, very, very new. I know enough to be dangerous because I've got my ON30 line in the Colorado room, which runs on HO track and uses Soundtracks Zephyr DCC system, and so I know a little bit, but I'm not the person to ask for advice. So JLW II 2000. That's what that. I always forget his. I always have a hard time remembering if it's JWL or JLW, but it's JLW II 2000, and James has that channel, and he's a really nice guy, and we chit chat every now and then, and I know he knows way more about HO than I do, and so that's why I asked him, what he would recommend for a beginner to do a DCC sound upgrade. So he said you're going to need to get the Tsunami 2 board, and you're also going to need to get a speaker, and so that should be coming up in the future. How do you fix a 700E Hudson that sounds like a diesel? I have no idea what you mean. Okay. The Lionel Pensy S1. I'm not sure when that's going to arrive. I would imagine probably sometime before Christmas or immediately after Christmas. Usually with Lionel, you get a big shipment in December. If you go to the Lionel site, you can look at their shipping schedule. So if I go there right now and look for the S1, look for the S1. Can't type.
I found this on the web.
Oh, shut up. So let's see. Okay, they're saying the S1 is going to ship in July of 2021. Okay. Well, it's July now. A Lionel shipping schedule. It's you have to take it with a grain of salt because you know there's a lot of stuff involved in getting these things, getting them from Asia to here, and so it says July. To me, that usually means August or September. So we'll see. You know, it might come in. But I was just at Legacy Station today, and they didn't have any new arrivals. So we're going to go ahead and unbox something. What we've got here is an NNW 2882. I've already got two of these new ones. I've got a Santa Fe and a Northern Pacific, but this one is weathered. It's one of those pre-weathered locomotives that Lionel has been selling for the last so many years that are weathered by Harry Heike. I guess that's how you say his name. And he does the weathering for Lionel, and you can buy a brand new locomotive from Lionel that has already been weathered. Now, I've never bought one of these because I usually weather my own engines, so I really don't have a need to get one of these. But I've always kind of been curious on you know what kind of a job he does with pre-weathering these locomotives. Now, he does a very light weathering job, which is smart. I mean, you know, when it comes to weathering engines and rolling stock, it's always best to go light because, you know, unless the locomotive is just sitting in a junkyard somewhere, it's going to be in pretty good shape. So generally what you want to do is just a layer of dust and grime, you know, some water streaking, you know, stuff like that. But you don't want to do rust all over the place and, you know, stuff like that. So this is the weathered Norfolk & Western Legacy 2882, number 2021. Legacy and Bluetooth control, Legacy rail sounds, fan-driven smoke, whistle steam, and 072 minimum curve. And I'm actually filming a review for this 2882 model as we speak. Well, not as we speak, but I'm filming it. It's not done yet, but it is in progress, and it'll be out soon. And so now I'm going to have 3 of these for the review, which is a little bit crazy, but, you know, that's what you can do when you're divorced and single. You don't have to get the permission of a wife or girlfriend. Just like I might be buying another electric car later this year. I got a new pickup truck this year. I got a new 2021 F-150. Not the Lightning. That doesn't come out till next year. But I got a 2021 F-150 King Ranch. And then I've got a second car that is a commuter car. It's a 2018 Ford Fusion plug-in hybrid, which has been great, but it's a lease, and the lease is going to be up in a couple months, and so I might just turn it in and not get anything. But I've thought about getting a full electric to replace it, and I might either get a Tesla or one of the new Mustang Mach-E's. I mean, the Tesla I think is a better deal. You get a little more mileage. You know, if you get the Tesla Performance package, the Tesla Model 3 Performance, it's a good deal, and you get a little more mileage out of the charge, and of course you get Tesla's supercharger network. But but the Mach-E is just cool, and and so I'm kind of I go back and forth on it. I think I might want to get the Mach-E just because you don't see a lot of them right now, so it'd be kind of cool to have one. All right, so there it is, and you know the weathering on it is very delicate. I mean, I can see that it's been affected by the plastic, so I don't think he's putting a. I could be wrong. I don't think he's putting a clear coat on this to protect the weathering. I think he's just weathering it and putting it in the box, and that's going to make it very easily damaged. You know, the paint. I'm going to have to get a brush, a brush. I'm going to put this on the track and try to cover up some of these places where the weathering has wiped off. So it looks really good. The weathering is very light. I'm not even sure if you can see it very well on the camera. However, me personally, I wish there was a coat of dull coat on this, and I may put my own coat of dull coat on this to protect. I actually just ordered a batch of weathering paints, and as soon as they get here, I may touch this up a little bit and put a coat of dull coat on here to protect the weathering. Because if you just put the paints on there and you don't protect it, your fingers and anything it touches will rub the weathering off. And I don't know if you can see it, but some of it has rubbed off. So, but overall, I mean, he's done a nice job with it. I think I'm going to put some gloves on to handle this. Hang on a second. So let's check out the Locomotive. And I'm assuming what happens is they make these, they ship a certain number of them to Harry, and then he in turn weathers them, puts them back in the box, and sends them back to Lionel. Now, because of that, they are a little more expensive than the non-weathered versions. That's to be expected. And yeah, I mean, he's done a nice job of this. Looks used, but not in disrepair. You know, it's just got some grime on it and streaking, which is good. Yeah, see, there's some of it's rubbing off there. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know exactly what process he's using. I don't know if these are acrylics or solvent based. But if I was him, I would put a coat of dull coat on here to, or some sort of sealant to protect the weathering paints, because I learned that the hard way. I mean, I've been weathering trains for quite a while, and I learned the hard way that if you don't put some sealant on there, every time you pick it up or it hits something or falls off the track or derails, those weathering paints get rubbed off a little bit. And I guess, I mean, if you really want to get down to it, I guess that's sort of realistic. I mean, in the real world, if you rub up against a dirty engine, you're going to create a little spot that's probably a little cleaner than the rest of the engine. But, on a model, that really doesn't, in my opinion, that really doesn't work well, because then it just looks like you didn't weather it right. So, when I get my new batch of weathering paints in, I will probably put a coat of dull coat on this just to protect that weathering a little bit. But overall, it looks pretty good. And I saw one of these on the display case in Legacy Station, and I noticed that the weathering was worn off a little bit. And I said, well, maybe that's just because people have been handling this one more than usual. But here I am just handling this, just getting out of the box, and it's and the weathering is coming off. So, if I was going to offer some constructive feedback to Harry, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't want to upset him or anything. I mean, The weathering itself is good, but it's extremely fragile. And so if I was going to give him some constructive advice, it would be you got to put some sort of protective coat on this. Dull coat is usually what you use, or something similar to that. This is my MTH UP843 that I weathered, and I can touch it all I want within reason, and the weathering's not going anywhere. And that's because when I was done weathering it, I put a coat of dull coat on this to protect the weathering. And you know, the dull coat does alter it a little bit. It does give it a slightly different look, but it's worth it because it does protect that weathering and keep it so it won't rub off so easily. Instead, you know, on this one, I don't know how well you can see, but you can see where it scraped off when I was unboxing it, and over here it looks really bad. There's all this got rubbed off and all this on top of the cylinder, and there's no way to fix that except I'm going to have to touch it up. Fortunately, you know, I have an airbrush and I have all the paints and I have the spray booth, so I can fix it. Most people wouldn't be able to, and they would probably be very upset to see that. And all I did was unbox it. I mean, it's not like I manhandled the thing. I just unboxed it, and it's already rubbed off. I'm gonna have to run it on the top loop today because I've got all this computers and stuff on the bottom level. I don't know if you guys can hear that okay. Check, check. Can you hear? Check, check. Check, check. Okay. I won't weather my GE Evolution Hybrid. Don't worry about that. You can see the bicolor classification lights.
This is the dispatcher. Take the green. Over. Thank you much. Cleared outbound. Out.
Oops.
Dispatcher, green is outbound. Over. Very good. Keep rolling. Out.
Looks like it's running great. The Weaver Troop Hospital car is the second one. It's the one closer to the caboose. K&R Custom Models is here. I was just talking about the signal bridge a while ago. Well, it looks like it's running pretty clean, which is always nice to see on a locomotive brand new out of the box.
Dispatcher, we clear through the next block. Over. That's perfect. Your track is clear. Out.
That's really smoking. Looks great. Well, that's really smoking. That's fantastic.
Dispatcher, we're at slow speed. Out. Dispatcher, I'm stopped. I'll let you know when I'm rolling. Out. Dispatcher, we're done for the day. Out.
Well, that looked really great. It worked great. First time out of the box. It's always nice to see. Yeah, really nothing to complain about there. There is one last thing I want to show you. So I just finished doing a building another storage case down here. So I used to have this as a box storage for my Atlas boxes, but I changed it over to passenger car storage. And so this can now store 48 passenger cars. I've got another one that I showed you guys previously that's over there. You can kind of see it over there. And that stores 36 cars. So I can now store 84 passenger cars to be used on the fly whenever I need them. So really glad to finally have that done. I'll probably make another one of these. There's another spot that I'm going to use. That'll probably store another 36. And the reason I do this is because I like to keep my passenger cars out of the boxes so that I can grab them whenever I need to, you know, because anytime you run a passenger train, if you change your locomotive, a lot of times you want to change the road name of the passenger cars. And it's nice to have them all ready to grab. And I've always had them out of the boxes, but they've always been scattered under the layout, you know, and just hanging out in random places. And so now it's nice to have a nice storage facility for them. And this is extremely simple. There's really nothing to it. It's just wooden shelves with Menards O-gauge track. I use Menards track because Menards is the cheapest O-gauge track you can buy. And on the one over there, I use these are the 30-inch length track pieces from Menards. And on that one over there, I was able to use the whole 30 inches. On this one wasn't quite as deep, so I had to take a Dremel tool and cut them off at 24 inches. But it doesn't matter, I can still store the cars. So yeah, I got 48 cars there. Nice organized storage. It's not powered, you know, or anything like that. Again, it's nothing fancy at all. It's just wood and cheap Menards track. That's all it is. And they're really crammed in there. The spacing between the tracks is as tight as I can get it without the cars hitting each other, just so I can get the maximum storage possible. And see, they just roll out and just pull them out whenever I need them. And that's all there is to it. And there's a little stopper on the back. There's a little piece of wood on the back to stop them from rolling off the back of the track. But that's all it is. Very simple. I mean, it's so simple I don't even have to do a tutorial on how to do it because I mean, there's really nothing to it. It's if you can cut wood and screw down track, you can make it. So, all right. So yeah, I think we're gonna end it here. It's 9 o'clock. It's been a little over 2 hours. 2 hours and 18 minutes. So I think it's been a pretty good show. We looked at the Lionel catalog and we talked about some new arrivals and we unboxed the N&W 2882 and discovered the nice but extremely fragile weathering of Harry Heike, and that's about it. So and like I said before, I've been busy on the layout, installing a lot of stuff, installing this new signal bridge from K&R Signals, installing a new crossing gate made by Z Stuff, and just doing random scenery work. I just put down a whole bunch of new trees, and so it's going well. And when I do the big layout tour video later this year, when I hit 50,000 subscribers, it should be a pretty good video. I should have a lot to show you, and both on the layout and underneath the layout, and it should be pretty cool. And then of course we'll have the open house later this year, either in October or November. And as soon as I know the date, I will post the date so that you guys can know about it and show up if you want to. But anyway, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this show. It went pretty bug free. We didn't have to restart the stream, at least. So that was a nice thing. We had some audio problems here and there, but all in all, it was a pretty glitch-free show. So thanks for spending some time on your Saturday night watching this show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see everybody later. Have a safe and happy weekend, and take care.